Each week, we send out a newsletter, and it's digital, so the great thing about digital, it's all color. Lots of pictures of different events that our kids go through. And you open up that newsletter, and you immediately feel a part of this school. And I put them in a newsletter because I feel that our climate and culture of this school is one of the most important things. I want our parents to come here. I want our door to be banging, please let us in. And that's my dream and my vision, is that we have so many people that we just grow and grow and grow. Part of that is that climate and culture that comes from a newsletter. This week alone, we had third grade totem poles. We have a book fair over at Barnes & Noble with all of the different grade levels presenting different things, art shows coming up. We have coming up Friday 3 different grade levels with core knowledge events that are occurring: kindergarten, 4th grade, and I believe it's 3rd grade again. So there's a lot of different activities that happen every day. So the first thing that we're going to talk about tonight is academics. And I want you to look right here. Here we have our vision and our mission. And I want you to look at some of the pictures. We talk about the rigor. It says the mission of the school is, I'm just going to start right here at the halfway point. The mission of the school is to develop in each child the love of learning, the ability to engage in critical thinking, and to demonstrate mastery of the academic building blocks necessary for a successful life. So at the bottom of there, you can see some of the things that has happened in our school that mirror our mission. Right here we have 4th grade. Our 4th grade did a dissection with a lamb's heart. They had everything was right there with the document camera. It was up there on the screen, and there's tons of pictures where the kids had their gloves, they got to touch, they got to hold, they got to understand the parts of the heart, and they got to watch the dissection the entire time. Here we have our 5th grade. They got to go down to the botanical gardens down in Denver, and they got to have hands-on experiences that facilitate inquiry learning. We have our 1st graders here that went to Miller's Farm, and they had a blast, and they got to be part of that farm experience. And over here is our middle school students. Our middle school students, you will notice in the spring, if you ever drive by, we have an organic garden. And we have middle school students that are part of that organic gardening experience. They learn a lot of different things. And this fall, when they harvested, they actually picked vegetables, and they served them in our cafeteria. And so they had an organic salad, they worked on dressings, and so they have classes to support that. So that's a pretty cool thing. Who we are academically. We are a school of rigor and a school of academic excellence. When we look at our data just for this year, if you pulled up, and you can go, just so you guys know, go to the CDE site and do some research about our school. I will tell you that if you look at this, this was our state expectations, where we needed to fall to meet expectations. And so you see reading, math, writing, and science. Now this is achievement, and then this is growth. How much we need to have, what was our median growth percentile. Now the green is really what you want to look at. The green says, did we meet the expectation? Did we exceed it? If you look here, and also let me just kind of do a side tangent here. This information is in one of our newsletters on the website. I believe it's the first one in September, so you can pull it up and actually see it and see all the data there. What else is different? We're a core knowledge school. But as a parent, I went to the activities and I fell in love. And then I knew I had to teach core knowledge as an educator. Let me tell you basically what it is. Core knowledge curriculum. Bottom line is there's a couple of factors, a couple of things that makes core knowledge uniquely different. First of all, it's a spiraling curriculum. And you think, well, what does that mean? Okay, so think about this. When you went to school, you probably had a very similar experience to me, where you might have learned about Civil War one time, one grade level. You might have learned about Revolutionary War in 4th grade, and then you didn't hear about it till you were in high school. So if you know anything about how a child learns, which you're all parents, you know that when you're teaching a child, it's not a one-time exposure that helps the child to remember. It's building blocks. It's line upon line, sequence upon sequence, precept upon precept, okay? So you think about this. This is the great thing. So I taught second grade core knowledge for 5 years. And we talked about Civil War, War of 1812, civil rights, the list goes on and on. Now, think about this. War of 1812, and you think, second grade? And that's what I did. When I interviewed and I got the job as a second grade teacher, I was like, War of 1812, second grade, are you kidding me? And then I started researching and I was like, oh my goodness, how did I never learn about the War of 1812? Core knowledge comes to life. And I want you to think about, you see that excitement in me when I talk about the history. One of the things I feel very passionately about that our children are lacking, is the patriotism and the understanding of the sacrifices and the dedication of our forefathers and of our soldiers who are serving us. They come out with a strong sense of who they are and what freedoms they have and why this is a privilege to live in our country. The other wonderful part about core knowledge is it's not only a spiraling sequence for our national history, but it is a spiraling sequence for our world history. And it is important as future global members to understand cultures and history of other countries. You think about a major key player today, China. Ancient China, second grade. They understand the contributions, the inventions, the things that occurred. So you think about your children. You want the very best for your children. They go 20, 25 years from now and they graduate from high school and they go on and then they graduate from college. And they have all of this intellect, all of this understanding, but they lack the skills to sit at a global table because they don't understand the cultures and the customs of the people. That's critical in today's business. And I'm going to tell you that after I went as a parent to a core knowledge school, I had an option at a middle school level in this town that we were in to either send my child to a great middle school or a brand new core knowledge school. And I sent my child to a brand new core knowledge, even gambling, because I didn't know. But I knew that I wanted them to have that curriculum. It was that important. So here's some pictures of some of, when I talk about our community, one of the things that you noticed if you got a chance to look through the movie was that there were tons of parents in that movie. Because every single time we have an activity, the doors are open wide. We have, like I said, Friday, 4 different grade levels performing or doing different core knowledge events. So, above and beyond our core knowledge, which traditionally is your history and your science and your classics, what other curriculum do we use at the elementary level? We use a program. If you've done some comparison to surrounding districts, we use a curriculum that is like other districts. We use Treasures Reading. We have a strong writing program that we are developing right now. It is Step Up to Writing. Our math curriculum for our elementary level is a little bit different too. This is pretty amazing to see. It's called Singapore Math. Singapore Math, I have to tell you, I'm a huge fan of, and it took me just about 2 weeks to be in a classroom and think, holy Hannah, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. What it is a strong emphasis on number sense, place value, and conceptual. So they start with pictorial, the conceptual understanding of what addition is, what subtraction is, multiplication, division, and they do it through bar models. Our third graders can do, in their head, 326 times 8. That's leveled about a full grade ahead. In addition to being a core knowledge school, in a school that supports high and struggling students, with that we have a lot of different activities that support them. So we have a CAST, which is an after-school club for our middle school students. We have Spanish, now this is unique, Spanish for all grades 2 through 8, 2nd through 8. That's unique. We have an organic gardening. We have rich enrichment programs. So we have choir, we have band, We have a drama club, we have a cheerleading club, and we have a sports program. So our sports, we have boys basketball, soccer for both boys and girls, volleyball for girls, track, and then we also have a partnership with our middle schools. So for instance, we had several kids that played football, they went over for football. We had several girls and boys that swam, and so that partnership with the middle schools, any program that we do not provide sports-wise, they have that opportunity to attend other schools specific for that program. We have 2 trips scheduled for this year for our middle school students. We have a trip going to Costa Rica, and we also have a trip going to Thailand.
So my name is Courtney Gook. I actually don't have a kid here. I'm an outside member. However, I have a 2-year-old. And so when I'm just behind a lot of you. I'm thinking, all right, my son's, he's getting ready for school. Where do I want him to go? Of course I want him to go in the best possible place that he can go. The reason that I came here is because I'm doing my PhD in education. I also have a master's degree in education. So I wanted to contribute some of the things that I have learned and had learned in both in my PhD work and my master's in education work. And so I came here. Rebecca is one of the most talented administrators I've been around. She inspires me to become better